Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. On today's episode, we got to talk about, are the Bears making the same mistakes yet again? As we got it announced today that there are going to be no starters playing in preseason. Also, just got to recap what we saw today at training camp. Not the best day for Caleb Williams. So, gotta react to that. It was one of those days where I was just like, oh, I could have stayed home today. But all that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do on today's episode. As always, y'all already know how we got this. We got the squad in the building. Yeah. Hey man, we got his internet lagging real hard right now. Jordan JC trying to fight through.
And then, he was a little bit behind on that one. Yeah,
the man who's always rated R, Mr. C Dub in the building. Hey boys, what's going on, man? How y'all feeling?
Hey man, doing good, man. I'm glad to see that the Floose stood 10 toes down on what he should have did in the first place. So yeah, we good.
Listen, we'll talk about that. I can see both sides of the argument, and I think that is why this is so interesting, but we'll see kind of where everybody is at on that. And of course, Jordan JC in the building. Jordan, how you feeling today, my guy? The internet.
Man, I'm good. Am I coming in clear? You guys, you all hear me well?
Yeah, you sound good now. You sound good. You look good. You play good. Right, you do have on a Tiger Woods Sunday sweater, though. What's going on?
Hey, it's Sunday. I got to put on my Sunday's best, man. Because apparently I can go to work, but apparently they don't allow the Bears players to do their job.
Oh, so, here we go. Here we go. Now we got war in the building.
Tired of this.
Shout out, as always, to the chat in the building. Knowledge Untamed in here. It's Crimson, you dig, the Bears 85. First off, to get the Bears 85 as your YouTube name is pretty impressive. I would think there's a lot of people that were fighting for that. That's a pretty impressive YouTube name to get. Jay Grizz in the building. Saw James over on the Twitter side. Shout out Saw James over on Twitter. B Bill in the building, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Let's jump into it. But I don't know if I said hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Y'all know what to do. Just in case you don't know what to do, I'll let an expert kind of tell you what to do here.
Push that.
I gotta find it. Hold on now. Where's my button?
Oh, what we got?
Move buttons around, dog. Can't find it. I think I might. Oh, there it is. Hold on. There it is.
Hey,
push the button. Come on. Push the button.
Might as well.
Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button. That's what she really said. Let's jump into the show, though, boys, because we got the news today, which is the news that everybody is talking about right now, about the Chicago Bears deciding to not play any of the starters in preseason week 1. Now, I understand on both sides of this argument that you don't want to risk a guy. What are you going to do? Put him out there for one series? Is he going to go out there and what's he really learning from this? Blah, blah, blah. I understand that aspect of it. But the one question that I do have is based on what we have seen out of this team at practice. We have talked about the cadence many times. We have talked about how the offensive line has not been set together. We have talked about how this team has kind of really, where their offensive struggles have come in, has really been just working as a cohesive unit all at once. And that's a problem when you go into preseason week 1 and basically just say, everybody's good, everybody's fine, don't worry about it, we're getting good work in, you'll be fine at practice. So, boys, I asked this question. Are the Chicago Bears making the same mistakes that they made last season that had us unprepared to start last season? Remember, if you will, last season started with a Blue 82 false start.
Yeah, you know what? I get it, right? I get it. What we saw last year was an arbitrage. It was something that shouldn't have happened, right? Justin Fields went into the first 4 games unprepared. The offense went into it unprepared. The whole team was unprepared, and it was all led by Flus. This time around, I think he learned from his lessons. Obviously, I don't think he's going to go into this preseason sitting all of his starters all 4 games, right, including the Hall of Fame game. So we're sitting in the Hall of Fame game, right? Why are we sitting in the Hall of Fame game? It really doesn't matter.
Right.
They're playing their second, maybe third or fourth stringers, players that won't have an effect on how we play. And at the end of the day, why are you risking an opportunity for your franchise quarterback to get hurt, for one of your franchise wide receivers, your franchise, no matter what player we have on our starters, somebody can get hurt just from a freak accident, somebody falling on an ankle, all for a meaningless game for what? One possession, one series possibly. So yeah, I agree that it was a good idea for Flus to sit his starters, sit Caleb Williams. He's going to get plenty of reps. He's going to get what he needs in order to be ready for game one of the regular season.
Now, we have been dubbed many times the Blackest Show on YouTube, and I do have to ask this before I allow JC to rebuttal here. Which one of y'all need to change y'all smoke detector? Which one of y'all is that? I can hear it. I hear the beep. I can hear the beep. It's Dub.
I know it's not me.
It might be me. I ain't even beep.
I can hear the beep. That's because you're used to living with the beep. That's because you're used to living with the beep. Y'all hear the beep in the chat? I know y'all hear the beep, dog.
I swear I ain't even hear
Nobody said nothing.
I just kept hearing. I heard him make this whole point, and all I kept hearing was boop. It's like,
you know, I ain't in the basement every day. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's my
Go ahead, Dub. Go ahead.
That's hilarious.
Go ahead, JC.
So the only here's the problem that I have with what C-Dub said, because you already know how I feel. I want these guys to get some experience in. Matt Eberflus a couple weeks ago, you know, had everybody in the office, all the team, and he had this whole rah-rah speech about, hey, everybody, we can be the last team standing at the end of the season if we prepare. It's all about preparation from week to week. We have to be the most prepared team. My thing is that I feel like you're being hypocritical if you do not allow your starters or the rookies to get as much experience as possible, whether it's the Hall of Fame game, whether it's week 2 in the preseason, whether it's week 3 in the preseason, whatever the case may be. Week to week, I want to see these guys gain experience in live action. If it's one series, it doesn't matter to me. All that matters is you're gaining experience, and that's what I want to see. I don't care about the injury part of it. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, we got to put Caleb Williams in bubble wrap and practice. That's part of the game. That's part of sports. Injury is going to happen in the season. We can't be scared to have him come out there or not come out there just because, we need to protect our quarterback. Or Montez Sweat, tapped him a few times in practice. Come on now. I want to see that quarterback out there for a series. I know it's not going to happen. I know they said they're not going to bring him out there, but I think that's a bad decision. You're not learning from your mistakes from last year.
I think here's my big takeaway from all of this. We're talking about this like it's just the quarterback position. That's where my problem comes in. It's not just the quarterback position that is having this question mark put upon it, right? You have an offensive line where your starting center is basically now your starting right guard because Nate Davis isn't out there. Your starting right guard now, who's also still your backup center, is Ryan Bates, who's never played center, so he needs reps at whatever position you can get him into. If he is now your right guard, at a certain point, you do have to pick your starting offensive line. If he is now your right guard, that means Coleman Shelton's your starting center, which means you've now had 3 days in a row of that. And the last 3 days at training camp, you have had some shaky snaps. That in the shotgun, under center has been fine, but those shotgun snaps have been shaky. I think that's my thing, and it's about getting lined up, getting set up, getting the cadence out, getting the play out. I'm not telling you to sit there and drop them back and let them pass. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to see him. By the way, just a quick breather here. Over 100 in the chat.
Oh yeah.
What's going on there? But every time, dog. What's happening there? Me, Mr. Media himself going crazy, dog. But rated R. But no, like I feel like you've got so many things on this offensive line that it would benefit you to say, hey, you know what? We're going to go out here. We're going to get lined up. We're going to snap the football. We're going to hand this thing off to Demetric Felton, who is now the backup running back 5 times, and then we're going to get the heck off of the field. And it's doing that versus a real game situation. And it's not, I think what's always funny about this is, right, this is the moment to me where like the analytics and the logic takes over from like the mindset of the old players, because there was a bunch of players up there. There was a bunch of players up there today, former players and stuff like that. And Waddle was up there, Yurko's up there, Thayer's up there, right? And every single one of them is losing their mind.
Yeah.
Over the fact that they're not playing this young guy in preseason. And everybody who isn't a player, literally everybody who's not played football is like, I mean, it's not important.
It don't matter. But the
all
players
of the
care.
Players think that it is important. And so, like, to me, it's one of those things where it's like, that tells you, and it's the biggest difference in game speed versus practice speed. There's nothing you can do in practice. There's nothing you can do in this walkthrough that you're going to have against Baltimore, or not Baltimore, against the Bengals. Sorry, I was thinking about the Eloy trade. That's where Baltimore came in. He's gone. Good riddance. Good riddance. Not a baseball player. Not a baseball player at all. Can't run from home to first. Not a baseball player. But when you talk about getting the reps in, getting game speed reps in, you can't replicate that versus the Bengals in a joint practice. Yeah, you can do some scrimmage stuff, but it's not the same. And that's why, to me, there is an important part of getting him out there in shotgun and or under center. It can be a handoff every single time. I don't care if he hands it off 110 times. But getting him in a game speed, calling the huddle, versus just doing what you did last season, which is why I asked, are the Chicago Bears making the same mistake? Like, this is what we said going into last season. We were like, no, we don't need it. It's not important. We're prepared. Here we go. Oh, we're very unprepared. And it's going to take us the first 4 games of the season to even get our heads out of our backsides and try and figure some things out.
How much of the preseason did the starters play last year, like Justin Fields and them? How much did they play last year?
I want to say like
29 snaps. Yeah.
I think it was 29 snaps. Because remember, like, it was a Seattle game where he played more, but realistically he didn't, because he played like the first drive of the game, and then Seattle ate up like the entire clock for the rest of the first quarter. Yeah. And then he came back in the second quarter because they were like, well, we wanted to get him his snap numbers, and then they pulled him out. So like, that's my thing. You didn't see him play a ton, and guess what? Your team looked very unprepared to start the season.
Yeah, but I mean, are they really going up against real competition again? So, like, you going up against second and third stringers who, they just fighting to try to get a roster spot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you really going up against real competition? And if you're only doing it for just one series, does it really matter if it's only one series? If it's only if it's a 3 and out, and then you're sitting there for the rest of the game, like, did that really benefit anybody?
Well, no, I think here's the thing. Like, you're talking about something specific that you're working on, right? If I'm not worried about his ball placement, pause. I'm not worried about, is he going to be able to drop back and pass? I'm worried about what we saw at the beginning of last season with an offensive line that has been in flux all throughout a training camp.
Yeah. I mean, you
literally started last year in training camp with an offensive line that was in flux. They basically didn't play together. And then by the start of the season, you were like, man, they don't really look like a unit. Why are we surprised by this?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're also playing Houston again, though. So, like, do I really want to show Houston some of my plays that I might be practicing or working on?
I'm not one series.
I'm not showing you.
Right. So if it's only one series, it really doesn't matter.
But what I'm saying is, and I think what a lot of people's now, here's the thing: if you're not going to play the starting offensive line, sit them. The decision is right. If you're not playing the starters, sit them.
Thank you.
That's what it is. That truly is how I feel about it. And you're not playing the starters, so sit them. I don't want to see him out there behind Doug Kramer, Jatir Carter, and Dominique Robinson. But I think there's a value in playing your starters, yes, in that one series, because that one series is against game speed that you're not going to see anywhere else until you get back in a game.
And I'm looking at a lot of the people in the chat, and I guess this is just the overall reality is that a lot of teams don't play their starters at all in this Hall of Fame game, because it's usually in addition to the preseason. And here's my only pushback with that. At the very least, as you said, if we need something, if there's something that needs to be fine-tuned or worked on when it comes to this offensive line, there's no reason why we should be holding our starters back. There needs to be experience in that. Like, and then of course we have this issue with Nate Davis. Like, there's already question marks on the offensive line and who's going to start, who's going to be healthy. So we need to kind of figure those things out now. That's my only thing is I want to get as much experience and time as possible so that we can be on the same page come week 1 of the real season.
Here's my question, everybody in the chat. 32 of 32 teams don't play their starters in the Hall of Fame game, right? How many people in here are fans of a team that has never had a quarterback throw for over 4,000 yards?
Come on.
How many people in here are fans of a team that has never had a quarterback throw for over 30 touchdowns?
Come on.
How many people are fans of a team whose last good left tackle is in the Hall of Fame already?
This is when Joe should have did the dunk.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what we talk about. You know what I mean? Like we're sitting here acting like, and this is my thing. Why I say this is a mistake, because you're acting like we didn't watch this play out already. Oh, are you telling? Let me run this scenario by you. Let's run this scenario out here. Are you telling me that we're going into a season with the right guard who has injury concerns and doesn't want to practice, and we have a center battle that has two different centers, one who's not really a center, who's a guard, but we signed him to be our center, so we're going to play him at center, but we got concerns at the right guard spot, so he may end up playing there. So we got to go to our backup option at center that's not very good, and he can't really snap the ball nearly as well. That's the 2023 season, ladies and gentlemen. We watch this.
Yeah,
I love the Bears 85. More preparation hurt who? When is ever doing something more ever hurt anybody when it comes to preparing for something? You prepare for a test. You spend more days preparing. You're more ready for that test, right? Like, we need more because we've never experienced a great quarterback. Like, those statistics, those should be blown out the water by now, man. We're in an era where 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns is easy. It's money. We talk about Kid always loving these mid quarterbacks. Some of these mid quarterbacks have put up those stats. Like,
these mid quarterbacks are the greatest quarterbacks in Bears history if they play here. You know?
Yeah. But again, to go with the quarterback argument, like, you look at the history of the Hall of Fame game. How many of those games have been played by a number 1 overall pick quarterback or a first round quarterback for that matter?
Teddy Bridgewater is the last first round. I think
Lamar Jackson might have played once.
Yeah.
Like, not really much proof showing that. So, I mean, I get it, right? We've never had a consistent history of quarterbacks that has been actually really good. So we're saying, hey, if we can get 1 minute of extra practice, let's put them out there. But I get it. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, I would just hate to go through the Tyson Bagent experience for 15 games because we decided to put him out there and some rogue linebacker come running right into this guy on his foot. And I get it. You want him to get that callus, right? You want him to get them hits. But, man, like, it's a meaningless game.
I don't want him to get hit. I don't. David Carr is a great name to Bears 85. I think he's the last number 1 overall. I don't want him to get hit, but I do want him to go out there and at a real game speed set up the offense and get guys in a position. And then you turn around and you immediately hand that football off and you get the heck up out of there. Like, that's really what I want to see. And I love this comment. Is it biogeny? Biogen?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be Blaney.
One series in an extra preseason game isn't going to change the outcome. It sounds like you don't trust the process. I haven't hidden the fact that I don't trust Matt Eberflus's process. You want to know why? The mistake that Matt Eberflus made in week 4 that blew the Denver Broncos game by just taking your foot off the gas and being unexplainably inconsistent in the second half. That popped up in week 11 when we played the Detroit Lions and we lost a game that we had a 97% chance to then go out and win. I also watched Matt Eberflus in multiple games last season drop Justin Jones back into coverage in a zone blitz where the Bears weren't able to get to the quarterback in that blitz, which means now Justin Jones is vulnerable. How many touchdowns got thrown on that? 2. 2 dropbacks, 2 touchdowns. Matt Eberflus don't learn his lessons. Matt Eberflus has these same mistakes pop up, and I've been commending him all off season on how he's run camp. This is a much better camp. I think that there is something to be said that they're getting more out of camp this year than they were last year. But that doesn't mean that you just say these things aren't important, because you've said these things aren't important for 3 years, and you've had a team for 3 years that now in the first year, I give you some grace on that, but in that second year that basically came out and here's where my issue does come in. Literally used the 4 games to start the season as preseason games. How do we know that? By the 4th game, they had figured everything out. By the 5th game, they had won.
Facts.
Just use preseason. It's there. I'm not saying go out there and play Caleb Williams 110 snaps in the first game.
Yeah, we're not saying that.
I'm saying go out there and use whatever time that you can. And to say you don't even get anything out of that. You don't have a offensive unit that has consistently been able to go through practice without a false start or a delay of game. By the way, 2 today.
Man, it's almost like they're going backwards because I know it seemed like it was cleaner in the beginning. But to even piggyback off that point, like to say to trust the process or that we don't trust the process. You know, when I trust the process, when the track record is good, when your resume says year in year out, you're doing what you need to do to be prepared for the season. When have we seen that? Last time I saw that, I wasn't born because it was 1985 when the Bears won the Super Bowl. I was born in 1988. We've dealt with this for years. Even though we've had some really good teams, we've never gotten close to that summit other than 2005. But
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, we do got that one. That was a good time.
My point is, like, the track record is not, it's more bad than good. And we're not used to success at a high rate. So I want to see something different.
Yeah, offensively, we're not used to it.
Yeah, I hear you. By the way, just a quick thing. Over 200 in a chat.
Hey,
200. 96 over on the Twitter side. Hit that retweet over there, man. 115 on the YouTube side. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. No, it is a concern for me, and I think getting this announcement after getting this announcement on the day that I would say is Caleb Williams' second worst practice that he had is kind of like a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, you're announcing this and saying that he's gotten good snaps, and he has gotten good snaps. I'm not saying that this is the end of the world, but you're announcing this and saying this at a point where I just watched him underthrow multiple passes in one-on-one. I just watched him not be able to complete a single pass in team drills except for one until you got to that situational period, which the one that it was a screen pass basically to Roschon Johnson. I just watched him go out there. Now, he did play well in the situational period or in the situational period in 2-minute drill. Drove the ball down the field, three passes, touchdown. We're in the end zone, 2-point conversion, hit Rome Odunze in the hands. And I'm not just saying that it's all Caleb Williams, but it was the offense as a whole. And I think that's like, to me, the passes that Caleb threw to Rome, I thought they were on the money. Rome dropped multiple passes today. There were a lot of drops today, more drops than we've seen the entire training camp. We saw today. So like, I think it's very tough to get this news off of a day where I've seen you at your worst. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things for me where it's like, okay, like this is where you're at right now. To say you gain nothing by doing nothing in training camp, I can't see it. Now, could I be wrong? Could I be proven wrong? Could the Bears go out there and this be a completely situation in last season? 110%. But I go based off what the history shows me, and the history shows me that we played this game before, and guess what? We lost.
It's
you know
bad.
what I mean? Like,
it's bad. Yeah. The one thing
in a different scenario this season and last season, you start off this season with Montez Sweat, who, dare I say, is the best player on this team.
He's ready.
Montez Sweat, that's crazy. That sounded just like the sound.
That did sound just
Montez
like that's
Sweat
crazy.
legitimately is trolling Caleb Williams and Matt Eberflus right now. Like, he is getting to the quarterback anytime he wants to, and instead of hitting the quarterback, he just goes and puts his hand straight up and then just stands there for the rest of the play until the play, like, just basically letting you know I could have killed you. So like, it is really funny to see Montez out there. He's literally, like I said, the best player by far, at least on this team right now, at least in training camp. There was a little bit of concern for me, like, okay, do you get that regression? We saw that regression a little bit with Mac, right? His best game was the first game. I was like, okay, are we going to be able to see him go out there and have another 12 and a half sack type season? If he's playing like this, bro, he might break some records this year. He's a monster right now.
Yeah, and this is exciting because you got your quarterback with all these weapons, and you got this defense that feels like a top 5 defense. The only thing we got to work on is this line and consistency, and we don't have Nate Davis. And it's like we can get this line underway, man. It's no reason we don't win 12 games this year, man. I'm excited about what's to come, bro.
Yeah, but that's a big ask. I said ask.
Hey. There you go. All right.
Yeah,
you know what?
That's a big ask to go out there and just say, if we get this line together, we're going to be set.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That would have happened last season too, right? Like that's how talk about the storyline of the Bears. If we could block Jay Cutler's left side, we might not have lost him in a NFC championship game.
Yeah.
Maybe we go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's not a small thing to say we hope we can get this line together. And you also got to take into account you're doing it with, and I know everybody has this undying faith in Ryan Bates, but a backup right guard, trying to start him as your right guard, and a starting center that the Rams were willing to let go because he wasn't very good. It's not a great place to start.
I will say on a positive note, one thing that I was really impressed by, I wanted to make mention is because I saw it scrolling through Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, is Kevin Byard had an interview with some folks, and he was talking about Caleb's leadership. Yeah, and it sort of impressed me because, I mean, if you're talking about wanting to be having a championship mindset and thinking on a different level, the small things even matter and have to be applied. And so what he was saying is that Caleb, I believe after a walkthrough, he noticed that there was like cups and trash all over the place. And, he kind of just alluded to, some of the guys like, hey, I know we're all grown men, but, maybe we can clean up after ourselves because the custodians and the janitors, they have a lot of work to do and they cover, this whole entire building.
Yeah.
So, maybe we need to help them out and make sure we pick up after ourselves. That creates discipline, which could equate to, hey, how hard you work and how disciplined you are on the field. I love that.
Hey,
I gotta admit.
I know Muzz are gonna look at that and be like, oh my God, it's there's nothing, it doesn't mean anything. Ed Reed said that was what changed that team around that ended up going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, look at that.
Them boys out in there basically said, clean up after yourself. Ain't no mamas in here.
I love that, bro. And it's like I'm looking forward to this Hard Knocks, man, and seeing how all that's going to be like behind the scenes, how it's all going to be transcribed in front of us. I'm really curious to see how Caleb kind of vibes with the rest of the team, the chemistry.
Mike, that ain't happening. So
no, for sure. I mean, listen, it's funny because the Hard Knocks trailer came out today. And the only thing that we could sit there and laugh about was that it was no highlights of current Bears. It was 1985 highlights. It was 2006 highlights.
I like this kind of party.
And then it was literally just freaking Caleb Williams' face, like walking in, like that was all the trailer was, bro. I was very depressed by it.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
Bro, I sat there watching. I like this kind of party. Yeah. Devin Hester, you are ridiculous. Hard Knocks.
Like none of these players are on the team anymore.
Oh, that's crazy. We didn't even get no highlights from last year and that at all.
I swear, I watch every time Bears highlights pop up, dog. I swear I end up doing the same thing, bro. It's just freaking like I end up being like not Moneyball. What's the movie? Major League, bro. Where it's like half of these guys never had a prime. Most of these guys out of their prime. Half these guys never had a prime. This guy's dead. Like, bro, that's how I look at anything.
Classic movie, by the way, bro. Phenomenal.
It's one of I'm not gonna lie, it might be my favorite movie of all time, bro. You telling me Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball? One of my favorite movies of all time. But no, man. I'm a little bit concerned about if the Bears are making the same mistakes as last season. Y'all let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. Do you feel like the Bears are making the same mistakes as last season, or do you feel like the Bears are, doing things a little bit different, and this is going to be a different kind of season? We'll talk about all that more. Actually, we won't talk about. I don't know what y'all talk about tomorrow because I won't be here because I'll be on my way to Canton, ladies and gentlemen. I'll probably drop something. I can't go days without dropping content. So I'll probably drop something on the channel. But no, it's shout out Drew. On a lot, Jesus.
I like him very much.
Jesus, no help with curveball.
Drew a fool, man. What up, Drew?
Hey man, shout out to the shirt, bro.
Shout out to everybody who know it. Silver Harvest. We'll cross him off the list then.
Just a bit outside.
Ball 4. Ball 8.
Ball 8.
Ball 16. I love that movie, bro. Oh dog. Man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. For Jordan JC, Mr. Media himself, and of course, Rated R. C-Dub in the building. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. Peace. Rated R is solid.